Nurul Yazid with our panelists, Shen Ching, Prema, Davine. Yeah? The stage is all yours. Thank you.
The wolf she cries at night, a breath had born.
Okay, everybody, thank you for attending our forum. Every year at MIDE, I host a forum called Women in Diving with different topics that we talk about. And this year, I've decided to focus on diving in current. So we are very honored here to have three amazing divers. We have Ching, Prima, and Daphne. I've been very fortunate to have dived with all three of them. I've dived with some of them in Maldives, in Komodo, in Banda Sea, in all different locations. But recently I've dived with all of them in Triton Bay. They've all been to Triton Bay before. So before we move on, I'd like to first let these ladies introduce themselves a little bit. We'll start with Daphne.
Okay,
So,
thank
Daphne,
Yes.
why did you choose to dive?
Initially, I didn't want to dive, but I had a colleague and a friend who hounded me for many months to try diving, and I decided, to stop this hounding or harassment, I would like to call it. I decided to try, and ever since then, there's no turning back, no regrets. So thank you, ex-colleague and friend.
All right, and then once you started diving, you got hooked.
Yes, so that was back in like 2013, and yep, I've been diving non-stop ever since.
So how many dives do you have now?
I think about 600 plus.
Whoa, 600 plus. That's a lot. And then we move on to Prima. When did you start diving, and why?
So I've seen my husband going for trips, and I'm always left out, and I was very curious. So that's when I started trying it out. I actually failed my first one, as you know, from the intro.
So your husband started diving before you?
Yes, he did.
And he left you alone at home?
Yes, he did. He goes for 7 days, and I'll be like, hey, okay, I need to try this, and I need to go for 7 days too. So yes, that's when I started, 2016. I've logged about a little bit more than 300, I would say.
300,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. The first time diving, and never looked back to. It's always wanting to go for the next trip. So I can't wait to go for my next one now. Yeah.
Well, these are all very addicted people we have here. Now, Ching. So, yeah.
I'm addicted too, actually. But compared to these two ladies, I think I'm the baby here. I have like less than 300 dives. But when I started in 2018, I think because I just really like water to begin with, so it's just one of those things that, it's on my bucket list since forever. So I just tried, then I never looked back. I'm all in. Yeah.
That was good.
Okay, so we know that these ladies all love scuba diving, and we know that they're hooked. With diving, you have a lot of challenges. And I remember when I started diving, people used to say, oh, be careful, there's current. Be careful when you go to this dive site. And until you have experienced it, you have no idea what people are talking about. People can explain current, they can draft it out, they can draw it, but until you're actually there, you have no idea what they're talking about. I remember the first time I experienced current was when I was in Perhentian Island. I was diving Vietnamese wreck when we were doing our safety stop. At the rope, the current was so strong. We were like basically a Superman, holding on to the rope, flying like Superman. And that's when I realized, oh, so this is what a current feels like. Right? Yeah. So when did you first experience your first real current, Daphne?
Yeah, my first real current was at Crystal Bay in Bali. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows that, it's always very, the situation is usually like that in Crystal Bay. But I remember what happened was we were all trying to, stick to the bottom because that's the advice they give us, right? And we were, the diver in front of me, I can see her holding on to the little pebbles in front, trying to pull herself, but no matter what, none of us are moving. So that was the moment I was like, oh my God, is this what a current really feels like? Yeah, everything else before that in Tenggol and, was like, that wasn't really a current. Yeah, so Bali, Crystal Bay for me.
And Prima?
Likewise, Bali as well. But for me, it was a little bit different because I just got my advanced open water. I was just dancing underwater, basically, going up, going down. It was a hell of a ride. But the thrill of it, it was really, really exciting. So, yes, I felt like I was dancing in the water. And my masks were like moving side by side, and I was like, okay, I think this is current, I think. And true enough, it was. So, yeah, I was dancing up and down. So, I think at the end of the day, it was fun.
I think my experience was similar to Prema's. Because my first experience with current was actually in Tioman. And some people might know this, it's called Tiger Reef. Like it's konon lah, it's famed for washing machine kind of current. And I didn't know what that meant because I was also new and Tioman is like my dive kampung. I've never encountered washing machine. What is that? So then one time we went and I was dancing in the water lah, upside down, oh God. Upside down, yeah. So the current was going like somewhat circular. Yeah, so and I was like upside down. Everywhere I was all over the place. It was not fun. It was not fun, okay? It was very, very much later that I started to enjoy current. Yeah.
So from what I gather, when I talk to some people, they say they had their first current and then they panicked. But hearing your stories, it seemed like you enjoyed your first current experience. It seems like none of you panicked. What were you feeling inside, any of you, when you first experienced strong current?
I think I was very scared. I wouldn't deny I was very scared. But I think at the end of the day, it taught me how to calm myself down. Yeah.
The wolf, she cries at night. A breath had born in the black wind where the shadows lie. Deep inside despair, our hearts grow fierce, our minds aware. We carry on, oh, we carry on, carry on. We carry on, oh, we carry on, we carry on.
Support of your dive buddies and all that is important because at the end of the day, before you go down, if you're diving with the right people, they tell you not to be scared, they brief you properly, and then you just remember, number one, do not panic. And yeah. But yes, the fear was there, definitely.
Yeah, like Ching, you were saying you panicked. I don't think that's panic. I think you were scared because you still could follow instructions. You still could think and tell yourself to calm down, follow what everyone else is doing. You were still practical, I would say.
To keep myself alive.
What's the next steps, isn't it?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, fear needs to be there. You need to be scared because it reminds you of actually, us and nature. Nature will always win. So always dive with respect. Always dive with humility, knowing that we are here to enjoy nature, and just that mostly.
Yeah, I agree. Never take Mother Nature for granted. Okay, and then so do you guys use tools when you dive, like the current? Some people say I'll use gloves to hold on to something, but some places do not allow gloves.
For me, it's a must to have gloves because I tend to just hook on whatever I can with my hands, and then you'll regret after. But I think you must have a reef hook. That is a definite, and then obviously a pointer as well, which helps for me. Yeah.
I don't know if this is a story that Nurul's told anyone. We were actually in Komodo. One of the guys who were there, he bought like a reef hook, but he said it was like a really cheap one or something online. And so what happened was Komodo current is so strong, right, that this guy took his reef hook and he hooked it, and by the end of the dive, that cheap reef hook became a pointer. So yeah, that's how strong current can be sometimes. So I think investment in proper good gear from a reliable source, I think that's important too.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Yeah, reef hook for.
Yeah. So buy a good reef hook, not the cheap one you find on Shopee. Buy a good quality
Agreed.
product. Like you
Very
said, I was
important.
there. I was diving with Ching, our friend Jonathan. He bought a very cheap reef hook, and then he hooked the reef, and it became straight. It's supposed to protect you from the current. Then we're like, forget about it. Yeah. So we told him, don't buy cheap stuff. Yeah.
Especially if your life depends on it, right?
Okay, so for reef hooks, they have the double hook and the single hook.
Yeah.
Which one do you guys prefer?
I prefer the double. Yeah.
Double hook for me. That's what I have. Yep.
I've used the double hook ones, but I tend to prefer the single hook one.
Why?
I feel like it's more stable compared to the double hook one.
Okay.
Like, cause
I will try.
while using the double one, I actually got like pulled away, but with the single one, it was fine.
Okay.
To each his own, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, to each his own. Yeah, I use the single one. It's because I have experience in Raja Ampat. I couldn't find two holes to hook. So you're like, I can't. You can put one in, and the other one makes it like flimsy. So yeah, it starts moving. So then I moved to the single hook because you don't always find two holes to plug it in.
But I find that, the traditional ones with just the hook in front and the rope and the other thing at the back that you hook to yourself works best rather than the ones that are in the market now that looks really canggih. It has like spring and all that. That doesn't seem to work for me. It breaks all the time. But only the traditional reef hook seems to work
You're
for me.
talking about the yellow rope, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the yellow rope, yes.
Old school, eh?
Old school works best.
Okay, so you went to Bali. I mean, you've traveled Komodo, Bali, and then you go to these places, and the current is strong, and then you freak out, you get scared, and then you come out, you're like, phew, what a ride! And then you plan another dive trip to another location where the current is even stronger. So, what were you thinking? Explain to these people why. Why do you go to these places that are known for stronger currents?
If I may, very simple. No currents, no fish. If you are diving and you have traveled to all these faraway places, of course you want to see really special things. Your whale sharks, your all kind of different sharks and big stuff. If the current is not there, there are very few possibilities that you will see what you want to see. So as divers, we toughen up. We live with the adrenaline so that we can see amazing things when we go diving. So that would be what I want to say.
I agree with you on this point. I mean, when we went to Triton Bay as well, the strongest current was at the most beautiful location.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But, obviously you're focusing on yourself and then you focus on the water. You are like, hey.
But
how do
no
I-"
regrets, right?
Yes, no regrets, no regrets. I think it was a beautiful dive site. Fishes were just swimming. It was really a zen moment. So these are the kind of places that we like to go when there is strong currents, in a way to recharge ourselves too. Yeah.
Mostly for the same reasons, big current, big fish. Yeah. So I think the important thing is to always know your own limits, like especially with very strong current, right? You have to be able to live with yourself knowing that I skipped this dive because I was too afraid, or I want to brave this current so I can enjoy the big rewards at the end, right?
So does dive operator matter? Does it matter who you dive with when you go to places that are known to have strong current?
Yes.
Definitely yes.
How so?
Very experienced dive operators can tell you what to do, and like if the current happens in such a manner, don't do this, or follow me, follow what I'm doing. They'll give you like the appropriate advice. But it's also one thing for them to give you advice. You also have to be able to follow them, follow their instructions, and also like pay attention. Don't get lost. Don't get swept off by the current. Yeah, I think it matters.
Yeah, I think for me it matters because knowing that the operator that I dive with has local knowledge, has a lot of experience in that area, they can brief you the right way because they have been through probably all kinds of conditions in that very same dive site. I mean, as divers, I think we all know that
Yeah.
no matter where you go, the same time, 50 times, it will be 50 different experience. So diving with the right operator will give you the highest chances of safety, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, on that point, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think another point is also because you want to be safe. At the end of the day, if you don't trust or if that particular dive operator has a very, different kind of reviews, then you will probably think twice because at the end of the day, you don't want to get lost. You don't want to be swept away by the current. So there are a lot of reasons for safety. So for me, safety first. I go with the best if I can. Yeah.
So even if they cost a bit more,
It doesn't matter. It's life.
Yeah, for sure.
okay. And so how do you go about finding? Say you want to go to Raja Ampat. You know nothing about Raja Ampat. How do you find a reliable operator?
Find Nurul.
Yeah.
Yes, fine, Nurul.
It's either Daphne or Nurul. These are my two key persons that I go to most of the time.
But I mean, but in all honesty, I think a lot of it has to do with word of mouth.
Agree.
Like having a strong and reliable dive community. And taking advice from them based on their experience. I think that works best.
Yeah, word of mouth, definitely.
But I think also important to do proper research. Like people can have very different experiences, right? So I think after getting feedback from your friends, and their friends and friends of friends, I think it's also important to really study the dive operator that you're going to use. Look at their reviews, talk to their instructors or DMs, whoever is available, and then see if their style matches you or like their kind of the scenario that they've been exposed to, whether it's enough by your standards, is it safe for you?
Yeah. If I may add, I think no matter how good the dive operator that you may find, ultimately, I think it also falls on us as divers to really always understand your own limits, always, refresh your knowledge about safety, and at the end of the day, we take care of ourselves when we dive,
Yeah, that is true. You can have the best dive operator in the world, but if you have zero buoyancy, you don't know anything about diving, it still won't save your life. Okay, so we've been talking about all the fun stuff. You have to celebrate here, go there with current. Now I want to go to a bit on the negative side. We've been seeing, we read on the internet, sometimes there are accidents, right? Like you read about the one where the diver went after the camera and then she got sucked by a down current. So like, we have to admit it happens, right? So how would you prep yourself to go to some place where there's a possibility of current? And sometimes a dive operator will brief you, okay, there's no current on this dive site, but do you take them, and you go there and there's no current?
I never trust that. No such thing as no current.
Okay, so how do you prep yourself to go? Like when you went to Triton Bay and you went to the dive site Batu Jeruk, when you went down, there was no current.
No.
And it was supposed to be a beautiful, calm day.
Yes.
And then after 30 minutes, suddenly out of the blue, the
20
current came. It came ripping at them. They were literally crawling.
I loved that experience, but I hated the fact that I had to abort the dive. I did not prep, actually. But I had what I need when that situation comes. Like, for example, the SMB, and then you have your gloves and your hooks. So that basically saved the entire trip for that particular dive site. I don't know about you,
But you say you know where everything is.
yeah.
So you always carry your reef hook and
Yes,
you
I
always
do.
know where it is.
I
so
do.
in case anything happens, you know exactly what to do.
Yes. So basically, I have my own gears, right? So it's always in my pockets, so I know where they are. It's always important to know where your items are when you dive, because if you don't know, then you probably lose out in panic as well. So calm yourself down, just find your stuff and get on the hook. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so knowing where everything is really helps you, right? Okay. How do you prep yourself?
I think mostly that. More importantly is you just really always have to remember all the safety procedures, right? I know diving is for fun, but your life is also dependent on how well you know how to take care of yourself underwater. So, I would mentally prep myself that if at any point I feel that it's not okay for me to continue this dive, it's okay. It's okay to say that I want to stop. I mentally prep myself that way, and exactly as what Prema and you brought up, always know where all your equipment and all your tools are, because that 1 or 2 seconds would make a huge difference when you're facing very strong currents that come suddenly. Yeah.
I think for me, the mental prep comes from before I jump in. A lot of the mental prep comes from like really paying attention to the dive briefing. And then also like you must at some point you have to ask yourself, right, this kind of scenario, I'm okay or not? Like how confident you are. It's okay. Don't be so kiasu. You can skip the dive if you're not confident. You can always skip.
You always have to be honest to yourself, no?
Yeah. I'm responsible for my own life.
Yeah, and then there's always another dive. There's always another time. You can always come back
That's right.
and dive the
yes.
side again. But you paid so much to go there.
My life is
Someone
worth
was
more.
Yes, correct. So I've met people who say, I paid so much to come here. I'm not going to skip the dive. I just think it's not worth it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems that you guys, from what I see, you guys have experienced quite many different types of currents, and you know how to prep yourself and everything. So what would you say? It has to. No, I'm just thinking because I meet so many new divers, and they tell me that, okay, they're terrified of going overseas. They say, oh, I would love to dive Indonesia, I would love to dive Komodo, but the current is so strong, I'm afraid. So I only dive in Malaysia. That's what they tell me. I said, no, Komodo's fine. And then I asked them, how many dives do you have? I have 200, but 200 or 50, whatever. Number of dives does not matter. So, like you guys, I see you started going overseas a little bit, then you got hooked, and then you explore different places, and now you're going to places with stronger and stronger currents. I mean, it comes with experience, but how would you talk to these people if you were to meet somebody who says, I'm terrified of exploring other places because I'm scared of the current? What would you tell them?
My first advice, you don't try, you don't know.
Exactly, that's
Right?
what I wanted to
No,
say.
but
very
when you
true.
say you don't try, you don't know, you don't want them to immediately jump into shotgun. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Of course, of course. Yeah, but everyone gets scared at some point. But diving is also one of those very peaceful, very calming kind of activities you can do to slowly expose yourself to, educated guesses of the danger, the kind of danger that you're going to put yourself in. And then you realize that slowly, bit by bit, you can handle more and more and more. So by exposing yourself gradually, eventually you get to a point that, hey, this is not so bad. This is kind of fun. The more current, the more fish.
No, I agree. My first one was actually in Komodo. So I was actually terrified to go to Komodo just because of the shotgun. And
Because everyone talks about the current,
yes,
so you're
everybody's
scared.
talking about it, and you see videos like people flying here, flying there, and I'm like, oh no, what am I getting myself into? And then when we went there, it was calm. And I was like, okay. So current is not that bad, but of course there was current. It is just how you manage it. I think at the end of the day, anywhere you dive, there will be current. If you want to go elsewhere, outside Malaysia, I think you guys should try, make the first attempt. I think it's pretty much worth it.
Yeah, just explore.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to repeat what the both of you say, but yes, definitely that. And I think the best advice or what I would say is, you really just need to dive more. Don't think about, when you're considering where is your next dive, don't think about that first question, are there currents or not? Because you know what, even if you go back to the same place that you've been to in Malaysia for, the last 20 trips, there is going to be a sudden current. Then what, you're going to stop diving at that same place you've been going to? No, right? So, for us here in Malaysia, I think we are blessed to be in a region where, we are just 2 hours dive away from the most beautiful places in Indonesia, in Thailand, in Philippines. So go and dive, current or no current. Don't worry, the more you dive, the more comfortable you get underwater. And like we said earlier, no current, no fish. So go and do it.
So, some people might not understand. What does no current, no fish mean?
Wow, that's a question that really caught us off guard.
There might be some
Yes.
non-divers out here. There might be some non-divers. What do you mean by no current, no fish?
Okay, let me explain this in a way that I believe I understand. So for the big fishes like the sharks and the mantas and all of that, they depend on currents to find food, because with the current, that's where the krill and the phytoplankton,
nutrients.
zooplankton, whatever you call them, that's how these food travel around, and the big fishes go after them for their food. So without these currents, you will be less likely to see these big things. I hope I'm correct.
Same.
Yeah. So it's not just the big stuff. Also, schooling fish,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Cooling
like
fish.
the snappers, fusiliers, and all that. When there's current, all the fish come out, and they're all facing one direction, facing against the current to eat all the nutrients that come.
Actually, that's one of the best things I like for schooling fish. It's so cute, right? You see them like they're just parking, schooling,
Yeah.
but they're just parking there and then just waiting for the right to come in. I think that's the best part
So
of the current.
they are just
Agreed,
hanging
agreed.
out, eating, and we are dying.
Yeah,
Almost dying to
exactly.
keep
We are
up
trying
with them.
to
Yeah,
move.
I remember you, was it in Maldives, where she was swimming, Nurul was swimming like crazy next to a Napoleon Ras. And the Napoleon Ras was just, la, 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 living its life. And the current was strong and Nurul was, swimming against it. But it was such a beautiful moment. Yeah.
Yeah, after that I stopped because I ran out of breath. But yeah, so you get the best stuff. So, I would say don't be afraid. Go out, venture. You will experience current at some point, whether it's half a knot, 1 knot, slow or strong. And then you won't know what people are talking about until you experience it yourself. You can read millions of books, watch millions of YouTube videos. Until you're in it, you won't understand what people are talking about.
If I may add, I think diving in currents really makes you a better and more confident diver as well.
sure.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to add? Okay, so reef hook, it's something that people should get for current.
For sure. For me, it's also a pointer and a glove, which is a must. Yeah.
And a very reliable dive buddy, I would say.
Okay, so I guess the advice we have is always be calm, don't panic, listen to your dive guide, no matter what happens. Make sure you just follow your dive guide, they'll know how to handle it. And if it's too much, don't feel afraid to abort the dive at any time because you can always come back. Right? Anything else you want to say?
I think just one piece of advice, just be honest to yourself. Just remember where your gears are. Make sure your gears are all top notch. These are some of the tips that I would actually advise all divers here. Yeah.
And then leave your ego at the door, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Definitely, yes.
And I would say there's no such thing as over prepping. Like if it's for safety, just over prep anyway. Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, well, then thank you very much, ladies. It was
Thank
great
you.
to have you
Thank
here
you.
today. And I hope I get to dive with you all again someday. I'll be diving with you in
August.
Nusa
Yes.
again in the
Can't wait.
current.
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.